Surprised that there isn't just like, you know, 2 characters that are just instant banned every game. It seems like that second ban is a little bit flexible, which then makes me surprised that first pick is banning away that pocket every single time.
Well, it seems to be OT haven't banned anything this game, but yeah, well, like as an example, in our Smite 2 matches that you would, you know, I'm assuming you were referring to that, where we saw basically the same bans every game. Fenrir on red side was banned every single game.
There we go. There's the pocket ban again.
Yeah, very nice. So we've got pocket ban coming through and a Vindicta, which opens up for the Viscous first pick. Now this is what I was talking about, right? So now we've got a Haze. Looks like we're missing the second pick for Mr.WorldWide as well. So, but yeah, I'm assuming maybe a Haze could be a Paradox for them. Could also be the Haze Dynamo, but opting for this Haze, Mo, and Krill as the top 2. Well, we're smashing through these. Yeah,
it's being a bit buggy. I do apologize for the technical difficulties.
We'll talk about it when they you know, are confirmed picks, but we'll talk about these first kind of 2 or 3 picks right here. Pocket banned away, Nuxel. OT opting to not take that for themselves.
Look, I got my Viscous pick. That's all I want. I'm gonna have an enjoyable game to watch. But Mirage is something that at least I haven't seen yet today. I don't know if in the earlier games that was on, but you know, the global teleport. Oh,
yeah.
Massive here.
I'm a fan of the tornado myself. I like that. But yeah, the Paradox getting picked up as well. You know, we did see quite a lot of. Okay, we did see quite a lot of that Paradox before, but now, Nuke, so we've got the Mo and Krill and the Dynamo on the same team. Spoke about it before. Mo and Krill, kind of this budget Dynamo pickup. So much lockdown right now on the side of Mr.WorldWide with the Mo and Krill Dynamo. The Haze and Shiv follow-up is really, really good too, but the Viscous stunning out Haze ult and, you know, getting into the backline can be a potent threat as well.
I like the Shiv pickup as well. That's I feel like that's confidence to bring to it. You know, the amount of aggression that you're bringing to the laning phase, and you know, you build up your rage there, and OT just have to back off and go, I'm not doing anything here. I can't do anything, because if I do, Shiv is just going to roll through me.
Yeah, at least as soon as that rage comes in, absolutely right.
Yeah, exactly. But OT looking at what seemingly is a bit of a pick comp at the moment. Mirage and Paradox.
Would you expect maybe a Bebop here for OT then, if they're opening a pick comp? Shiv just got executed. He no longer exists.
I mean, obviously, like combo wise, you got the Viscous and the Kelvin there. I feel like that's a pretty decent way to get like team fight aspect into the game. But when you're picking up a Lady Geist as well, it's like, okay, cool. I can bet you with my health. We can pull you in with Paradox. Or Mirage is just suddenly in your lane, and like if Paradox is there, we're pulling, we're knocking you up, and then we're just one-shotting you. Or like it's a very surprising, like, oh, now I'm getting pulled in, and now all this damage is getting taken to me. And Cube, pretty decent support, like in terms of, especially when you're up against like a Paradox. I mean, that was obviously first pick. You didn't expect that straight away, but being able to cube people just out of what you would expect to get second picked, well, first and second picked, over on Mr.WorldWide's side there, it's just a great way to do that. So maybe you don't want to put that much value into the ult and just put more value into what is happening on the other side of this team comp.
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, a bit of a technical difficulties with these picks and bans, so Nukes and I are just going to talk as they, you know, get fixed out. But I'm very haven't seen any Abrams in this draft so far. I saw it a bit in the beginning of the game. Not a lot of this, like, I'll say, like, very, very strong frontline potential other than this Viscous right now. Oh, speaking of, never mind, there it is. Abrams getting locked in for OT just as it comes out of my mouth.
And then Ivy picked up.
Yeah, very nice.
I mean, we talk about it so much with the earn plays and everything like that. I really like the Mo and Krill Ivy. I feel like, you know, suddenly there's this massive like pig that's just locking you down, stunning you. which also just makes way. I feel like, if anything, it makes space as well. Because either you're getting surprised and suddenly there's 2 people on you with an Ivy ult, or it makes that space where it's like, okay, let's back off. And if Dynamo positioning is good enough, suddenly there's a Dynamo ulting on 3, 4 of your teammates. And there we go. There's that Kelvin that we kind of expected. So, like, bit interesting there. Like, there's a bit of a mixed bag, I feel like, in its entirety. But, it's good because not only can the Viscous Kelvin combo, but also the Abram Kelvin when you've got the dash into the wall and stuff like that. So you've got a lot on your cast. So we'll pass it over to them now.
Thank you very much to Nuxel and J Beto. My name is Dicehart, and I'm joined once again here by Distinct Taste to bring you the semi-finals game of the Nemesis Pro League tournament. Hello, Distinct. What a game we've got between OT and Mr.WorldWide.
Yeah, pretty anticipated here. Consensus 1 and 2s from scrims and in-houses and whatnot's coming in. OT being able to take the Viscous away from Disc of Virtue and the Pocket away from Wilbo is pretty hilarious. Obviously, 2 targeted bans out for those players. We've got the Haze against the Geist and the Mirage against the Shiv in the solo lanes. Our duo lanes sorry. They are mowing Krill Ivy against the Kelvin Paradox and a we've lost here a little bit. Sorry, a Lash Dynamo versus an Abrams Viscous.
Yeah, definitely some very, very interesting matchups. We're already seeing the Haze and the Shiv getting so much aggression over their lane opponents here. Shiv completely pushing Mirage out. Does take a little bit of poke, but Haze maybe a little bit expected to get some very early aggression against this Lady Geist in lane.
Yeah, as long as Haze can just jump out of the bomb and make sure she doesn't get poked down too far. Poke is the name of the game for Lady Geist early game in lane in a 1v1 scenario. Same with Haze, really. That's kind of why they're both in that solo lane. Haze being able to use her fixation to do a little bit of spirit damage every time she gets 20 stacks onto the enemy. That really adds up and will chunk you down just over the course of clearing your own minions as they're shooting you.
We're still in the very, very early game, not seeing a lot of aggression coming out just yet. Look how much Shiv heals, man. That's so scary in a lane like this where, you really are hoping to poke out and deal consistent damage. For the fact that he's just able to bring it all back is terrifying and means that he can get a lot of early pressure.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's more annoying to play against in the poke department, the Jin's Mark or just Shiv himself.
Just Shiv. It's just Shiv, right? As a character.
Shiv. Yeah, just Shiv. He's just going to throw it at you. It doesn't matter if you go into that early bullet shield or that early spirit shield. It actually goes through that and will take you down through your shields.
Well, we are sort of moving towards the time period where I'd expect a lot of aggression to come out in one or both of these lanes. Maybe not an early rotation at this point, but this is the aggression I thought would happen. Mo and Krill going to find some good bit of poke onto that Paradox, and Kelvin actually falling very low. Mo and Krill is underground burrowing right now. Going to find that knock up onto the Kelvin. Will this be the first blood? Actually, he's going to run out of ammo. Mo and Krill won't be able to find it. Paradox cancelling out a lot of that damage as well with the wall. So close, Distinct, to being able to find that first blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work getting out there from the Kelvin, being chased down by Mo and Krill's
Whoa.
Paradox.
Mo and Krill down to 20 health. Does survive, though. Good bit of healing coming out from this Ivy, but Paradox finds it right up the stairs and back down after the kill. Ivy actually taking a fair bit of poke there as well. First blood over to the side of OT.
Yeah, OT picking up that first blood. Really unfortunate, the turnaround there, but well played by OT, showing the strength of this Paradox earlier was the kinetic carbine to just slow things down and make things easier for your team to follow up onto this Ivy, getting a little bit low in lane here again.
Yeah, this Ivy, she does have healing available, but needs to be able to tether to get maximum value out of that. So needs the lane partner there. As Haze starting to get poked out now that Lady Geist has a few more abilities available, is at that point where they should have their full kit up now, so can just consistently poke. And this Haze is not too tanky, does have some regen available with the items there, and a little bit of extra stamina, so should be okay in this lane for the time being, but is being poked out quite a bit.
Yeah, picking up the extra regen and the stamina there will really help out. As you can see, half health there, but as Haze has a pretty small health pool, the early game extra regen really pulls its weight. And Lash getting out, some good movement there, even booped up by the by the slime boy, the Viscous. So it'll be interesting late game to see how the Lash and Viscous interact with each other.
You know, Distinct, we've been talking a lot about Dynamo
solo
and his...
kill.
Wow, the solo kill coming out. Lady Geist will go down. And Distinct, I just finished talking about how Haze is having a hard time in this lane now that Lady Geist has all their abilities up, but it didn't seem to matter, did it?
No, I seem to miss it on the map, but I can only assume from the positioning that we left them in that the Geist decided to get a little bit tricky with it.
Yeah, a little bit of a dive coming out, maybe.
Yeah, but that's a good return.
Speaking of which, Mo and Krill is going to go down again. OT finding themselves another kill. And it's in favor of that Abrams credited with it there. Good rotation coming out, but it's allowing Dynamo and now maybe even Lash to get some pressure rotation coming out towards this Mirage. Should have spotted it out, and he's going to back away.
Yeah, Mirage, you just can't dive on him under tower. His Tornado is just an intense knock-up, and it's, as a Lash player, going onto a Mirage is never a winning matter, even in a 1v1, even in a 2v1 scenario.
Ooh, Lash being chased down here, so too is the Dynamo. Abrams in, finds the double push, straight into the double. Heavy melee damage coming out. Abrams, though, poked in the response to it, but in goes Viscous, and he finds the kill on the Lash. Great play here between these two, and I think that double dash really put them in the dirt there, Distinct.
Oh my god, absolutely. We've seen the Abrams do it all day today. The dash into the heavy melee is such a great initiation. Even if they were to get away, the follow-up from the puddle punch to just really knock them down and finish off those kills was great stuff. But this Lash going on this Mirage.
Yeah, Lash in a lot of trouble, though. He's going to be straight up into that Tornado, and Viscous is here to take him down. Shiv, though, has made the rotation over, looking for some damage on to this Mirage, but will he be able to find it in the goo ball? He's doing what he can, finds the stun inside of the Guardian, and the damage is good, but is it enough? No. We do see Kelvin fall across the map here. Shiv being chased down. He's still alive. 1 HP does go down finally as Abrams low health there, and Viscous was traded out for his trouble.
Yeah, honestly, great stuff here. Just being able to trade out these kills and really make sure that they can't get too ahead on the kills. This Mo and Krill is falling a little bit behind from the rest of the team, but this Haze is farming up very well, nearly at that 5k mark, which Abrams has already hit. We'll need to go back, though, at some point and get a little bit of healing online, as he doesn't have an item there to really get him back up to that full HP that he can engage with.
Lash now looking back in his lane here, can see that there's a Viscous in the area. Not sure if he's aware that there's 3 people in this lane, though, so has to be careful. Being punished quite a few times as this Lash for his positioning, and now needs to kind of play for farm, I think, Distinct.
Lash is still doing okay. He's just roaming around the map, but he does obviously you still want the farm there. He will, obviously, as the game gets on, be easier and easier to take down with the itemization. But Ivy getting gone on here.
Poked out and will be aggressed on. Does find. Oh no, he's inside. Look at the huge singularity. It's turned around on 2. He managed to survive and bait back into that singularity. Both kills going to the Dynamo, Distinct. It's absolutely massive.
Oh my god, great stuff there by Mr.WorldWide.
Oh, Mo and Krill finds the combo straight into the cube in response here from this Viscous, and he's going to get out with that punch up into the air, straight into the goo ball here. Rolls right past the Mo and Krill as well, but Abrams has come in, made that rotation over, dash into the wall, and finds the kill onto the Mo and Krill. Credited with that one off the back of that melee shot, and it's huge trades back and forth, Distinct, but the Dynamo gameplay is going huge, and it was a bait back into the ult that made all the difference.
Oh, absolutely, and OT doing a Mr.WorldWide impersonation and just getting a couple picks at the back end of that fight to just mix things up and make it a little bit more even in terms of things. They are up only a K. That's really nothing at this point. At 8 minutes in, they're doing pretty well. All towers, all Guardians still be up. That blue one on left side is a bit low, but that was just from the Haze with the early solo kill onto that Geist.
And Distinct, we have to remember as well that OT coming into this tournament were touted as by far and away the #1 seed, favorite to win this tournament massively, unlikely that they'd ever even drop a game. But the fact that we're getting such a back and forth, only a 2k difference, even at 9 minutes in, is really showing that Mr.WorldWide are a contending team and have the potential to take this tournament away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just keep it close, and they've got a really great late game team fight, as we've seen all day today. Really, this Dynamo has been putting in a lot of value, and you've got to expect from one of these top teams that even if they are supposedly on the tier list, the underdogs, this Dynamo can really make up for a difference. That with the Lash going down, though, unfortunately for the Paradox. The Paradox picking that kill. Only imagine the swap is down on the ult there, so it was obviously probably a good swap into a puddle punch from the Viscous.
I would say so, but it does kind of come down to, again, this Lash is doing their job in consistently rotating and trying to find aggression across the map. But when you're out positioning yourself, you're going to get punished for that. Haze has found a kill onto the Lady Geist, but in the meantime, Abrams and Kelvin do take Mo and krill down in this lane. And once again, the Lash is here, but he's going to struggle to defend this Guardian against these aggressive, very tanky characters. Haze, though, is making rotation over and might be able to punish the over-aggression here from this Abrams, positioning around the bridge buff right now. And look at the damage, even from this range, that Haze is able to poke out Kelvin with, and look at that positioning right next to the bridge buff here. Should be able to get it, although Kelvin coming in, and Abrams is here too, pushes Haze straight back into the wall, but there's a Lash ultimate. It's going to disengage Kelvin and Abrams from that fight, but Kelvin still manages to find the bridge buff and aggressing on towards this Mo and krill and Lash next to this Guardian to try to punish them out for their positioning. Abrams, though, is the one punished, and down he falls to Lash. Well played there by the defensive Mr. Worldwide roster.
Great combo from the Mo and krill there to really lock down that Abrams and make sure they could pick up that kill. The Kelvin, though, just kind of waltzing in and saying, oh, hey, this buff, you're all fighting? Oh, don't mind if I do. I guess I'll just be a little bit quicker, have a little bit more dash. You know how it is when you're already the fastest and most movable character in the game. A little bit more never goes astray.
Absolutely.
And then he'll be walking around with that movement buff. Look at him go.
We love a movement buff, distinct. But now we are back into a more or less even game state. OT still have about 1,000 souls lead over Mr. Worldwide right now. Probably not even that, considering how quickly they caught up to that 48,000 mark there. But we're seeing a more or less even game state rotation out from this Viscus as it's stuck inside of the Dynamo ult, and it's absolutely huge. Down goes the Haze, and a well-played little engagement there from the Dynamo. However, being engaged on by this Viscus does find the knock-up to prevent the Goo Ball from connecting. Will it be enough to keep him alive? No, he goes down, and it's in favor of the Mirage. Great counterplay coming out there. Haze falls, Mirage falls, and that is absolutely huge because Haze falls, Dynamo falls, and considering Dynamo was the one that started that fight, distinct, that's a big counter engage coming out.
Yeah, absolutely insane, inhuman reaction times from the Mirage to be able to hit that tornado on the way out of that Dynamo saying, see you later, you're going to stay there. And the Haze, obviously great teammate, following up on the thing. And then wins the 1v1, gets the Walker, gets the swap, gets out most likely.
Wow.
He's getting chased here pretty hard though. Oh, no,
yeah, it's not enough,
he will
though.
be gone.
I can't believe that. Lady Geist literally just sat there, shoot the Walker, take all the damage in the world, and then went, boop, switch health, I'm fine, no walkers, and then left.
Yeah, you got to be careful of that as the shit as well, because obviously the rage dealing self-damage, if you get too low, you can
die.
Yeah, you'll just, fall in a hole in Minecraft.
And we've all been there. Never dig straight down. Never bash your way straight into a Lady Geist to get them down to 1 HP and kill yourself with your rage. It's the same thing. That's what they say.
Oh, absolutely. I'm raging that much. Anyway, this Dynamo really wants this urn. I wonder if it's a bait here, as we can see that... Oh, no. They're not really concerned. They're going to push this right... Sorry. They're going to group here, so it looks like they will be going for this urn. I was seeing if they wanted to take...
Teleport out, though. Viscus is coming in alongside Geist and Paradox, so they currently, OT, have the aggressive position around this urn placement spot, and Dynamo is walking in first. Remember that he is silenced while he's holding this urn, so he can't use his abilities. He's going to drop it off and falls very quickly, still alive, but does finally go down. Viscus getting that aggressive goo ball off, so the urn does go in favor of... Mr. Worldwide, but OT are definitely taking the better end of this fight. The engage tool, big ultimate from Dynamo, is no longer available. Down goes the Shiv as well, chased down by almost the entire roster of OT over in this left side lane, and they're pushing for more. Down goes the Lash as well, and OT are taking a massive lead in this game, now 9k souls ahead.
Yeah, that was most likely not worth in terms of overall, because now they'll most likely be able to push this Walker in this lane here. Just in, the defenses will just be a little bit lacking.
Oh, this can be an overcommit though. Trapped down here is this Abrams, but the Mo and krill uses the combo and is immediately turned around on. I think that was an alchemical flame that came out there and just completely punished the aggression from the Mo and krill, distinct.
Yeah, great pickup there. Alchemical Flame is obviously an active item that you can throw on the ground. It does increase your bullet damage to non-NPC heroes by 40%. So if a Mo and krill is comboing a target right in front of you, you can just throw that Alchemical Flame down and shoot them. And that'll really help save your team.
Can we pull up the builds and see, do we know who has that Alchemical Flame?
It is the Mirage. We can see it down there.
Okay, yeah.
Down there. It
on
is
the
part
bottom right.
is part of the standard Mirage build. So that's a great pick up there from the Mirage in this situation. But OT really showing what they can do here, extending that lead to 10k at this point. Their team is looking well oiled at this point. The Viscous and the Mirage are really comboing together, getting a lot of poke before these fights even start to this knock them down a little bit. The Geist going around doing her own thing, saying if you want to come, you better bring 2, and in that case, the rest of my team will win those fights.
Absolutely distinct, and now we're getting to the point with this still about 8 to 9,000 souls lead at 15 minutes, where the OT are maintaining a comfortable position in this game. They've taken down a few walkers and haven't lost any of their own right now, so they're in the driver's seat, distinct. But I don't think this game is over for Mr.WorldWide. Although in saying that, Haze going to push up immediately, be punished by this Kelvin. A lot of damage in response there, and the slow coming out from the freezing potential, alongside this Viscous as well, who can just immediately goo ball. It's so hard to be a Haze in this game, distinct.
Oh, absolutely, and I wonder how OT feel like playing this, because as you well mentioned, are they going to come defend this urn? This is going to be a big fight choice for them if they do, because it is in an open area, so getting value out of this Viscous will be... No, it just seems like they're just going to be able to drop him off there.
Yeah, the Ivy urn movement is quite good, and when it's on your side of the map, that's a little bit hard to protect. However, Paradox is going to get this ult off onto the Mo and Krill, and that means that this Walker is likely to fall very quickly here. Haze and Lash are stepping up, but against 4 to 5 members of OT, I don't think the Mr.WorldWide can afford to defend in this position. Walker goes down, and there's only 1 left on the map for them. The flex slots coming through right now for OT must be massive, distinct. They have so many options for their builds.
Absolutely, and I'm so impressed with OT's macro right now. They are playing this map to an absolute T. They're going to exactly what they want. They knew that... Ooh, nice sleep there.
Nice.
To get out. Absolutely, we're just going to leave that one. No, but OT realized that the Shiv was getting taken over, and they probably had an extra person there just to make sure that the area was clear. So that was a free walker for them. And as you said, their flex slots are starting to become probably a problem now for Mr.WorldWide, because you... I mean, apart from their 2 tanks, which you would like to have a little bit more, but they're doing okay on the Haze and the Ivy, which is where you want the majority of your farm to be in this sort of situation. Sure, the Mo and Krill at this point is honestly going to become an ult bot. If he can ult somebody, get the kill, and then burrow out, that's kind of the best case scenario for him. As we've seen from these engages, he's been really... This Paradox and the alchemical fire from this Mirage have really, really been dampening his style, per se.
Yeah, making it hard for him to be the annoying rat mole creature that he normally is. So we'll have to see whether or not there's some counterplay, maybe waiting for the engage to come out, for this Mirage to get themselves out of position and then engage onto him potentially, instead of being stuck in that alchemical fire. But we're seeing this Dynamo having an interesting bit of positioning here around this building, potentially looking for an engage onto either the Kelvin Abrams or the Paradox. And an engage right now, distinct, given the position and the map state, could lead to a mid-boss if it's a big enough team fight.
Oh, absolutely. And not only that, just to go on the woes, per se, of this Mo and Krill. Well, while we were hovering over that Kelvin, I noticed he had managed to pick up his rescue beam at this point. And rescue beam, obviously, you can just grab somebody and yoink them out of anything. And then you can heal them up with Kelvin's little 2. And then, yeah. So the Mo and Krill has truly got to pick his targets carefully. But Disco, as we've seen, is quite a player, so it wouldn't be surprising if he was able to pull this out.
Yeah, this is a terrifying position to be in right now. If you're Mr.WorldWide, you're up against the top team right now, although Abrams has managed to find the push straight back into the wall. This Shiv in a lot of trouble. He did cop a big melee hit there, but Abrams not able to chase far enough into that Walker to find the kill. This is a really crucial Walker right now as well, distinct. If this goes down, there's not a lot of aggressive, a lot of pushed out defensive positions for Mr.WorldWide to find themselves positioned around. If that hadn't been there in that moment, Shiv 100% was falling there.
Oh, absolutely. And if they get that Walker, it seems like they're actually going to engage here. They're going to kill this Ivy with the knock-up.
Mirage has found that tornado, and this is likely to be a kill here. Yeah. Credited to the Mirage and a good bit of damage from the Kelvin there. It's hard to get out of that tornado, distinct.
Absolutely. And OT just showing what they do. They're always there and they're always together. They always seem to have more numbers than you whenever they decide they want to take a fight. And that's really the mark of a great team in this Deadlock at the moment, because the map is very easy to rotate on from lane to lane. Making sure that you're there to follow up your team really doesn't hurt you as much as it does in some of the more traditional MOBAs.
Well, distinct taste. We are at the nearly 20-minute mark into this game. The lead not too heavily in favor of OT, about 9,000 souls. So enough that it's a few thousand souls per player right now. Definitely in favor of OT. Map state, though, distinct. 4 walkers still up and a guardian for OT. Only 1 walker remaining for MR.WorldWide, as this Mirage is going to be poked out, chased down by the Mo and Krill as well. Has to use that tornado. It's going to knock up one, but it won't knock up the other one. Shivers here and finds the kill. Haze credited with that one. That's a big pick here for MR.WorldWide.
Yeah, just a bit of a cast curse there, but OT showing their great macro play here. They're going to pick up this last walker.
Great, you're right, macro play coming out from OT here, and it's exactly what they needed. It's going to open up the map more. It's going to give them that third flex slot opened up to and allow these builds to open up even further. And distinct, we've seen multiple times where that walker was used as the only defensive haven here for MR.WorldWide. No longer do they have that option, so team fights are going to become much scarier the closer they get to mid-boss area.
Not only that, OT are now going to be able to push down these waves and really stop MR.WorldWide from being able to push up safely. Because if your wave isn't pushed up, you don't have access to the zipline, which will make it a lot harder to get away from sticky situations, if you were to say it that way. But I expect, look, it seems like OT's here grouping up again, but MR.WorldWide do have a fair amount of people here to challenge this.
Kelvin wants to pick up this urn and immediately use that frost walking ice path there to get over towards the other side of the map and try to drop it off. Ivy, though, seems to have the same thought in mind in the ultimate. Might be trying to punish out in a team fight here while that urn is being transported. Shiv has made a teleport over, but in fact, he teleports back. It could be a team fight opportunity here for MR.WorldWide. They might be looking to push a walker themselves and play the macro of the map differently distinct.
Yeah, grouping up, it's a good choice. But OT have just played this so well and have just done a soft backup here. This Mirage pushing up a little bit. That's interesting. He's noticed that they've all teleported over. Great stuff here from MR.WorldWide.
Look at what MR.WorldWide are doing.
I think Mirage caught them out, though, so I believe that they will know that they're there. I believe OT will know.
Oh, they do know. Haze, though, is going to avoid the dash from Abrams and chunking damage back into the Melee King. And there goes the tornado out from this Mirage. Our chemical fire on the ground as well as zoning completely out. MR.WorldWide's attack and their aggression. We're seeing some low health bars though. Abrams did finally fall in that fight. However, OT, they're going to hold here. Urn hasn't been dropped off yet, but I still like the... Oh, what? Okay, Shiv died. Did you see what happened there?
I'm assuming that it was just a solo and a skill diff, and the 16k Paradox didn't solo the 21k Shiv.
I'm going to assume it was a big grouping there, and Shiv was probably looking for an aggressive position around the side. Just unfortunate positioning there to where OT were expecting someone to be. Distinct. I like the macro play that was there and the use of the teleporters by MR.WorldWide. They made sure that the urn wasn't going to get dropped off. They looked for a Guardian on the opposite side of the map, then they teleported straight over. It was called out, which meant that they only got a Guardian in the end, but they managed to find the kill onto the Abrams, and if Shiv didn't die there, it ended up being a pretty good play for MR.WorldWide overall.
No, very impressed with MR.WorldWide. Their IGL seems to have woken up and decided he chose blood. So the grouping up as that group with that Dynamo and that Haze at this point, this Haze is one of the highest farms in the game, only 2k behind that Lady Geist. So she is chunking at this point, but it's going to be a free earn from them. No, they are here to contest it. And then nice
the ultimate coming out as well from this Mirage. Knockdown used, and inside of this Kelvin ult, the fight goes down. Dynamo has managed to find 2 inside of his ultimate. It might be a third one here as in comes the Viscous with his ult, and Gooball is doing a lot of work. Down goes the Mo and Krill, so too does the Lash fall, and MR.WorldWide is struggling to find a position into this fight. Chasing down here is the Paradox and the Abram. They're looking for one more pick, and it will be found on the Ivy. 3 for nothing here for OT. 4 for nothing, in fact, as they push another kill down onto the Dynamo, and the lead extends even further. This is a mid-boss distinct.
Yeah, this is going to be a free mid boss. Obviously, there is still potential here, but from a team as disciplined as OT have shown that this entire time, I truly believe that it will be next to impossible for anybody to try and steal this. And a great team fight there, just clean targeting, being able to take down everybody they needed to heal, and space themselves out enough that the Dynamo ult really didn't wreck their team fight.
I liked seeing the aggressive Dynamo ult coming out from Mr.WorldWide, but you're right that it really comes down to how we've seen it. We saw it in the last game as well, how the Viscous positions to counter out the way that Dynamo is ulting, and the way that they're able to kind of zone out the opposing team from being able to get value out of their Dynamo ult. Let's press tab very quickly here from our production, our spectator, and have a look at the scoreboard at the moment. 7-1-8 for this Mirage, 7-2-7 for the Abrams, and we do see a nice 12 assists there on that Viscous. On the other side, though, Haze still having a standout bit of a performance, 5-1-0 on this Haze, so has the potential, and is still quite farmed up as well to find some good damage. Distinct, do you think that Mr.WorldWide are going to be able to play off this Haze and start to find big kills off of her single target and potentially even ult damage?
It's going to be hard for them because her ult, even though with the changes it does do a lot of damage, and you can't just press metal skin to immune all the damage now with the changes to make it spirit ult, obviously. It is still it's still going to take a couple of seconds to chunk down through these bigger targets like this Viscous and this Abrams, not to mention the Lady Geist health swap and the Kelvin heals. So I believe that they still have to play for picks here if they're not going to be able to play through this massive Dynamo ult. The follow-up on the Dynamo ult probably has to be a Shiv dash through with multiple resets, and then a Lash ground strike from a fair distance away to really make use of the upgrades to it with the meters to damage.
Potentially then Distinct, we might need to look at some intelligent macro play here from Mr.WorldWide. Try to find picks at the right points on individual targets. I want to see good target selection and good positioning to potentially bait in the right target. That might be the way that they start to win some of these fights and knock off some crucial picks here. In the meantime, though, OT, they're starting to push down some base Guardians and looking to try to break the base here, maybe get a Shrine and that final flex slot.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting that last flex slot always feels good. It doesn't really feel necessary most of the time, but it feels really great, and that's a nice swap there from the Paradox.
He falls immediately off the back of that, and the engage is here. Viscous goes straight into the goo ball, looking to get into the backline here. Straight in does go the Abrams as well, looking to try to pick off this Haze. We've seen this 1v1 before, but now it's never a 1v1 because there's a Viscous here. Haze is already gone, and Ivy has to get into the backline, straight back to the base. He's going to try to chunk some damage into this Viscous, but it's a great use of the punch there to force this Ivy to use that gargoyle form. And now further in to this base do go OT. They're looking to take care of the rest of the... Oh, wow, Dynamo World is actually doing a lot of work here. It's managed to pull in quite a few members. Mo and Krill is into the fray here, and Kelvin ult coming out is actually defending very well, but Paradox falls. In the meantime, the rest of Mr.WorldWide are going down. Mo and Krill fall, so too does that Dynamo, and OT show that they can take one loss and still push through into the base. The Patron is transforming, and a great push from OT despite the ultimate from that Dynamo.
Yeah, just showing really what I was saying before, that they don't have enough follow-up. Their best follow-up in that 3 or 4 man Dynamo ult was Mo and Krill heavy attacks.
Yeah, it's a difficult... Wow, Lash has fallen as well. It's unfortunate timing, isn't it, Distinct, where Dynamo finally found a good position and good timing to get the ult off, but you're right, no one was there. It was just Mo and Krill heavy attack. Lash is going to... Sorry, Shiv is going to go down there as well as Kelvin starting to push through and look for a little bit more damage alongside this Mirage. It's likely that the Haze will fall here. She's been quite the menace, and the Tornado is going to come through. Dynamo out of position. He's going to pull 3 members of his team back into base, though. Great defensive play there from this Dynamo, but it means now that Abrams and the rest of OT are going to push into the Patron, chunking the damage down into it. Out of position is Dynamo, and down he will fall. Our Chemical Fire finding the last bit of tick damage there as Ivy does find a gargoyle form stun there, but is it enough? The Patron continues to fall lower and lower. Haze is down. Ivy, the only person left here for Mr.WorldWide, and the game is over, Distinct.
OT taking that one very convincingly. Pretty